Welcome to the Home Business Podcast with Richard Captain Henderson, publisher of Home Business Magazine, and Sherilyn Colleen, managing editor. This how-to show helps you successfully operate your home-based business.
Greetings and welcome to the Home Business Podcast. I'm Richard Captain Henderson, your skipper at Home Business TV.
And I'm Lynn, your co-host.
Let's gear, proceed, and get underway. Amber Laliberte is a devoted military spouse, mother of two, owner and operator of the education and entertainment company, Colorful Creative Kids.
Colorful Creative Kids, CCK, offers an award-winning YouTube channel and a line of children's coloring books. Amber has brought a unique approach to creativity and business.
CCK blends the best of both creativity and business by allowing children to color along in their books while watching the corresponding video online.
Amber Laliberte's business and journey offers a wealth of advice to home-based entrepreneurs, particularly in the value of video creativity and YouTubing.
Before launching CCK, Amber earned her master's degree in business and served in the U.S. Air Force. She is passionate about her faith, family, and helping others achieve their life and professional goals.
So greetings, Amber Laliberte. Welcome to our podcast.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going good. I'm over here in sunny Florida. Well, it's rainy Florida today, but...
So you're kind of close to Panama City?
Yep, I'm in between Pensacola and Panama, Emerald Coast. Good old Emerald Coast.
You got to start loving Florida this time of year as we up here skid into the throes of winter.
Yeah.
We love it.
Out there.
Well, thanks for connecting in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Be online with you. It's a great thing about being home-based.
It's like we're in the same room together, you know. It's like...
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Amber, let's get to know you better. What was the decision point for you to start Colorful Creative Kids?
Well, I want to share my story to inspire others that they can start a home-based business. And I think the decision point for me to start CCK, Colorful Creative Kids, which is an online children's entertainment and coloring book and YouTube channel, it's a multimedia company, I guess you could say, was just wanting flexibility with my family. And being that we're a military family, we move a lot. My husband just got home from a 6-month deployment. I had trouble finding work, even though I had a master's degree. It's actually really hard to find a traditional job when you have little kids and your husband's always gone. And I thought, well, how can I use a skill set that I've always loved, which is art, to create a home-based business? And nowadays with social media, it's the best thing ever because you can market yourself and share a skill of yours with the world, and you can start at a very low cost. And once you build a business using very low cost and using social media, you can take a little bit of revenue that you get and start investing it back into yourself in your company and start to grow a business around a skill, skill your skill.
Yeah, you definitely got a really cool, little niche here. Not maybe it's a big niche. What was your inspiration to, link up into a YouTube channel, kids coloring along? I would have never thought of that.
Well, it's actually a pretty funny story. I have always loved art, but I went in the Air Force when I was 18. And when I got out of the Air Force, I had, I had 2 children pretty much back to back, and I used my benefits from the military to get my degrees. And I think like a lot of moms, it's easy to say, hey, can we use YouTube to, not a babysitter, but just to entertain your children? And I remember after I finished my degrees, we moved down to Florida, and I knew my husband was going to travel a lot, so I looked for traditional jobs. And I wanted to stay flexible with my children, but I also felt I wanted to utilize my education and grow personally and have that flexibility, which is really hard when you have so many responsibilities. Right. So
you got to juggle a lot as a military spouse.
Yeah, and my husband was just gone a lot, and he still is to this day. And part of the reason I got out was when I had my daughter, it just was better for our family because we were both going to travel. Mm-hmm. So I remember, and I'm not the most technically savvy person. I mean, I want to share to people that you don't have to be technically savvy to learn how.
That's a really good point because, you've got a really high-tech business, but you're not, you work through the technology easy enough.
And I'll share how I did that. But I remember watching YouTube, and I had no idea that there was a monetization side of social media. I honestly really was not technically savvy. I had a Facebook, and I worked in the military, and I went to online school. I just never knew that there was a monetization side of everything. I think if you weren't like a young hip kid and you don't know all the ins and outs of social media, it's hard to know these things. And I remember my daughter was watching a lot of YouTube videos, educational ones and this and that. And I thought, how are there so many adults involved in YouTube when they have jobs and stuff? How do they have time for all this? And I remember just being so interested in it. So I went down the rabbit hole of research, because if I got anything from my degrees, and I know a lot of people are like, should I get a degree? Should I not? My business degree was more like theory based. It wasn't specific to a skill. So I thought, how can I use what I learned from research to research this? And I went down all these rabbit holes. I'd get up early in the morning, and I was like, what does YouTube offer? Is there a monetization program, and how to monetize, and what is all of this? And I started realizing there's a lot of people out there who make really good income and who are able to share a skill through social media. And that's why there's so many families that are able to stay at home.
But you brought up a good point where you have to put some work in initially to kind of figuring out how to configure it and what's the different angles. And it doesn't, it's there, but it doesn't do it itself. You've got to, kind of get in there and get it started.
So how that happened was I went to like 20 job interviews. I had been looking for a traditional job, 7 till 5, 8 till 5, and I got hired at one of them. And it was these were federal jobs. I was looking for federal jobs because even though I love art, I put that aside. I was used to the federal community, and
sometimes that's easier when you're traveling, your military spouse and all.
Oh, absolutely. And I did get hired into one company, and I told him, my husband's going to be gone a lot. I have 2 little kids, and it wasn't really conducive to what they wanted out of me. And I said, what am I supposed to do? I can't do everything that some companies expect of a mother with 2 kids. I could be a stay-at-home mom full-time, but we wanted a certain lifestyle design. And I also want to utilize my skills and my education. And then I said, if my kid got sick, it'd be part of my vacation days, things like that. And I have 2 preschoolers. So I was really having a tough time with it. And I said, I want to inspire others that just need the flexibility. And everyone has a skill. Everyone has something that they love to do, whether it's cooking or building something or preaching to others or inspiring. And for me, it was always art.
Or doing a podcast.
Exactly. Sorry, I forgot where I was going with this. But yeah, I remember that I knew how to do good research, and I thought, well, if I'm going to treat this like a full-time job, if I'm going to really get involved with starting a YouTube channel, I know it's going to have to take a lot of consistency, and it's going to take training because I didn't know how to start a YouTube channel.
Well, you had a little bit of a creative spark, but it was driven by a need with all the demands you're working. You kind of all came together.
Yes. And I remember talking to my husband, I said, I don't even know where to go. I don't even know what to start with a YouTube channel. So I got up at 4 in the morning every day before my kids woke up because I wanted to still give them the best of me. And I think the military naturally gave me like a discipline. I always loved getting up early. So I got up at 4 in the morning, and I spent 3 hours every morning researching how to start.
I could not do that. I mean, I think I'm a morning person. I'd like till 8 o'clock, to start playing. That's it. Well, let's here. We kind of moving on here a little bit. We'd like to hear how you work home based. How do you operate your CCK, your CCK empire, from home? How do you make that work?
I started it all with lots of research, and then I created my own plan. Through discipline, I created a plan. Consistency is key. So I started with the idea of I'm going to design these coloring pages, which I draw them out first and I digitally design them, and then I animate them, and then I color them, and I have a whole process. But I did it every single day for 2 years. And even now I still do it, but I have other ventures going on. However, I just did it every single day, and I had a routine, and I followed my own routine. I went 7 months working 40 hours a week at home around my kids' schedule, not even making $1.
Oh, you said the key thing is you got into a routine.
routine. So you have to also not give up. I mean, the first couple months, some people are like, I'm not getting the views. I'm not getting the reaction. You can't just go full throttle and then pull the throttle back when it's tough. You got to push through that. And I just said, I was feeling sorry. I was like, oh man, I'm not getting the views. I'm trying so hard. I'm working 8 hours a day, staying up late, waking up early. But I kept pushing, and the consistency did pay off. It really does. And having a good, taking what you're learning about and trying to make it better. Like I got better at drawing. I got better at thumbnails. I got better at, if you look at my first couple YouTube videos, I'm like embarrassed by them, but I think progression is important, and it's important to show progression, because I think people can get discouraged if they think everyone starts out knowing everything. No, nobody.
There's a lot of trial and error, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs go through that. You just, you got to do trial and error, see what works, and then just keep cycling in the good stuff and move forward.
Absolutely. It's all stepping stones, and we start off with a flat foundation, and we got to work our way up. And you do that from investing in yourself. If you make a little income, maybe invest in LinkedIn Learning or Skillshare and watch classes, and make some time for yourself in the day to invest in educating yourself, because these platforms have so many how-tos. You can learn anything, and you can learn how to use social media to grow anything. And that's the beauty of what we have now.
Well, I find it kind of frustrating about it. There's almost too much how-to stuff out there. I mean, it can get frustrating with, okay, which one do I actually watch? And that can be a challenge in itself.
I love LinkedIn Learning, and I love Skillshare. I use both of those, and I watched hours and hours on how-tos. And but you got to reinvest back in your business. You got to reinvest in yourself to learn, to get better. And as the quality gets better, you get more reception, and it's all important. You can't give up. I went from 0 subscribers to 400, almost 500,000.
Wow.
Organically. There was no buying a subscriber. You get in trouble for that. There was, I don't put myself in the videos. It's just my hands, but I'm trying to get more open with this with others. And it is in 2 years. It went from.
Did you say 500,000?
Yep, 500,000. Yep.
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then, and when you get 100,000, it's great, because YouTube sends you an award, and I think it's morale building. I think you can get lonely, like you've said in some other podcasts that I watch. It's easy to get lonely at a home-based business, but when you have a platform that appreciates their creators and still tries to have sends them awards, or they have conferences that you can attend, and just trying to grow them. That's really important, I think, for a platform to keep the morale high, so it's been a lot of fun, a lot of hard work. I don't think that if you work at a home-based business that you're not going to put 40 or 50 hours.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of hard work, but my son's actually sick today. My husband's with him right now, but just the fact that he was sick last night and I could stay home and have some time with you guys.
The flexibility is great.
Absolutely. And I mean, you couldn't do this 10 years ago. You couldn't, these social media platforms that help you grow and market your product or market yourself. And then
it's changed the whole game.
It's a game changer. It's amazing. Like my mom couldn't do this if she had an idea 25 years ago. She'd have to have a traditional job and then try to go to a magazine or newspaper. And it's such a low startup cost, if any. YouTube's free to start. Instagram, all these things are free, and you get to market yourself, and that's amazing. So, yeah.
Great. Well, Amber, let's talk about some of the issues that you encountered when building up your YouTube channel.
Okay. I would say cybersecurity is a big one. I think for anyone starting a digital business or having a digital platform, the bigger you get, the more subscribers you get. There's a lot of people out there who want to take advantage, and they will hack you, and they will try to take your work from you. And I've had so many of my copyrighted pages republished, and then they still monetized off of it. And it's been, I think I copyright strike people every week. And I've actually slowed down because I said that it's hard to keep up with everybody.
So they come in and they do the sharing function, or they just take, they just take it, copy paste it? That I had heard this one before.
Yeah, no, it's important because I got hacked and I got my, Google pays you through AdSense, and I got my AdSense account shut down and steal my income for themselves.
Well, this was beyond copying. It was a full-fledged hack then.
Right, every angle. You have some people copying for their own views, and you have some people hacking, trying to get your income. And we had to learn really fast, on top of learning how to film yourself, how to edit a video, how to be a businesswoman. You have to almost be a cybersecurity specialist.
Wow. Well, that's something to, for people to pay attention to as things grow and expand. There are just a lot of sharks, using some Navy analogy, there's a lot of sharks swimming in the water here. Something to pay attention. Well, let's get back a little bit on those subscribers. That 500,000 number is really impressive. Do you have any advice on how to get there, on how to get that to that level of subscribers?
To get that level of subscribers, consistency is key. I think like when you hit month 7 or 8, some people grow really fast. It's rare, but some people grow super fast. They have viral videos. But if you have a healthy channel that grows as a rate that's maybe 1,000 a month or something, keep going and don't give up because you're like, this is a low number. Because mine started out 0, and I was so excited when I had my first 10 subscribers. I remember I had like a recording of me, and I have it, I have like documented every piece of my growth, and I thought 10 was amazing. And when I hit 100,000, I thought, whoa! So now
was it word of mouth, or were you doing any kind of marketing to get subscribers, or it was through the content you have, good content, and word of mouth, and just the word spread?
You have to have original content. I think I didn't grow subscribers. When I first started my YouTube channel, I kind of did what a lot of people did. The coloring videos were a lot like a lot of others, that I kind of did the same coloring pages they would do. I would design them myself. I thought, if this is popular, let me do that. But it wasn't until I branched off and did my own thing you can be in a very saturated niche, but when you kind of give it your own style, your own spin, is when you'll shoot off. So I started designing pages that no one else had, and even though it was still in the same.
So you basically had a unique niche that people latched onto, and so okay, that's great.
Yeah, I hear people say all the time, I want to do workout videos, but everyone does them. Right. No, you can start a workout channel immediately. Just have your own personality, have your own setup, your own style, and a lot of times people connect with what's original about your stuff more than what it's, they don't think about it, this is saturated. They think, I want to spend time watching that person because they inspire me in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, they got to want to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when I started designing coloring pages that I hadn't seen on YouTube, like for instance, I have my most popular YouTube video is 50 million views. It was houses are popular. People love architecture. I don't know why. It's just houses are popular, but I hadn't seen the inside of a house on YouTube. I'd only seen the exterior. So I decided, my daughter loves the dollhouses. So I decided to cut the dollhouse in half in the image. And I showed the bedrooms and the bathrooms and the inside of the house. And then that blew up because no one had seen, and I think it was entertaining because people are like, hey, we can like draw and color the inside of a house, which is fun. So that really got my channel.
Well, lesson learned is there's always something, unique. I mean, I imagine you weren't the first coloring to come along, but you found a unique way to do it. I think that's the real key lesson here.
And then when you start earning income, if you do from monetization, reinvest into yourself, reinvest in getting better equipment, have delayed gratification for yourself. If you need a little bit of money to get by, take the other money and get a better computer, get a better camera, take more classes, and then build a product around your skill. If you're doing cooking channel, or if you're doing a home podcast and you want to start a magazine, or you want to have cookware, take some of that money and start learning how to create a product. And then before you know it, you have a YouTube channel, you have a product, and then you build it. So if you're excited about, I got my first paycheck from Google,
right?
Don't take it all for yourself. Invest back into your business, and that delayed gratification.
Gotta be strategic about it.
Yeah. And I think that's, if you don't have a business background like I do, or some of us do, I think it's easy to just
All right. I got all this money here.
Yeah, and it gets exciting, and you see a lot of people that grow fast, but they fail because they don't know how to. They think they're sprinting instead of looking at it as a marathon and thinking, 10 years from now, how can I use what I have now to grow something that can be sustainable long term? And you know, I don't know if YouTube's going to monetize forever. I don't know. Things come and go. I think YouTube's very strong, but I think
Seems like it's only getting bigger. I mean,
it is. It's just, you want to have multiple streams of income. If you can start with one thing, like, and then build on top of that, it's always going to be.
I imagine there's some diversification with Facebook and Instagram, and you know, those places where you can put videos also. But yeah, still got to be anchored on YouTube.
They all have their own way of doing things. I have Instagram, I have Twitter, I have Facebook. They're all unique in the way that they, you know, you share content and then you monetize. And so YouTube's always just been my favorite because it's video sharing, and it's been great for what I'm doing. But some people do really well on Facebook. Instagram's amazing. Instagram, people blow up on Instagram all the time, and so it's amazing what you can do with social media to start a business. But I've been able to take my videos and turn them into coloring books, and that's on Amazon now, and that's been a really fun, exciting venture to learn how to do, because that's a whole nother platform, you know. It's a whole nother ball game. So yeah.
So talking about video creation, it can be very time consuming. How many videos and books do you publish per week?
When I started my YouTube channel, it was daily. And then when I started growing my business through coloring books, I brought it down a little bit so I could have time to focus on generating that. So we publish weekly. There's sometimes it's about 2 a week, sometimes 1. Right now we're every other day for Halloween and Christmas. So it's kind of, you know, there's definitely a video every week, but sometimes there's a couple, and sometimes we slow it down when we start the next process.
Do you ever like outsource your production, or, you know, figure out ways to leverage other talent to help you grow it, or you just try to still keep it in-house?
When we have, you know, some months when we have more income, we try to take time off of my shoulders, and our team will look for freelance, you know, animators and freelance designers and things to help bring their skill to help our channel. So we've, you know, used a lot of freelance contractors and stuff to help build the channel. But yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's look a little bit like at the School of Hard Knocks. Like, what lessons learned have you learned over the years as a small business owner and YouTube channel operator? To delay the gratification, and to reinvest in your business and yourself, and to be disciplined, to be consistent. I think, don't think about what can I get out of it tomorrow, but to say what's long term. And I think the most important thing you can do is learn every day. Even if it's 30 minutes a day, if you want to upgrade your stay-at-home business, learn the next best software, learn the next best way to film yourself or to film your product, and then learn about different platforms and how they can be used to benefit you on a multi-scale. You know, I went from YouTube, but I had to learn about Amazon. I didn't just know about Amazon. I had to spend a lot of time, and my husband and I had to figure out, how do we publish a coloring book? We had no idea. Yeah, it sounds like you kind of mastered the art of what's urgent versus what's important. You know, if you get lost all day in what's urgent, you won't do something important, which is, you know, daily learning on the things you need to learn, the skills to, you know, get you growing over the long term.
I think there's a big argument on quality versus quantity. And I think it's important to have a lot of quantity when you're doing social media, because, you know, if you take a break, a lot of people get burnt out easily because someone took a break and then they're not uploading as much, and then they're not in the algorithm as much. But I also think quality is important, and I have noticed that the more time that I take to learn how to do something better, if you put out 1 video a week that's your best versus 7 that's just kind of not your best, and you're just you'll do better on that one.
It's better to get that way. I mean, we do the same thing with the podcast. I mean, we could do this every day, but you know, we do a reasonable amount, couple a week, just so, you know, you try to keep the quality up as best you can, because it will slip if you're just, you know, pushing it at the full throttle there.
And I think also what's important too is that you don't have to go to college to learn everything you need. Nowadays with tutorials, I think you can spend 30 minutes and get a good quality idea of how to do something. I think people can get stressed out. How can I get better? But they don't know. But you can spend 30 minutes on a tutorial on Skillshare or something. And I learn every day something new that I thought, how can I apply that to my business? And it's low cost. I mean, college can cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But now with the internet, you can learn something. I learn things every day. I'm always how to. And it's amazing. I mean, my whole business was, even though I have the college background, my whole business I could have done with my degree, because I learned everything I needed to for the social media.
Be a Dr. Google.
There's certain, careers, but if you're doing a digital business in marketing, there's a lot of great tutorials. Now, I think college is important, but I also think you can grow a very successful business with what we have in front of us, and that's low cost. So I think there's a good balance to both,
So Amber, summing up the initial stages of starting a channel, where would you recommend a YouTuber start?
I would say if you don't have a lot of resources and you want to be successful, just having your laptop in front of you and how-toing things for free on YouTube if you have an internet connection. And if you don't, go to the public library, somewhere you can get free Wi-Fi, and start learning free resources on how to start a YouTube channel. And then just save up a little money when you can, and whatever your skill is. Like if you have, if you need a camera, save up a little money. You can do everything with this bad boy, And
hey, this is inspiring though. All you need is an internet connection. If you don't have that, go to the library and get started and just start, looking around. 'Cause I mean, imagine there's a niche like you found for anything that anybody's interested in.
I think some people start YouTube and they think I have to have the lights and the camera and the team. And no, you can just have your iPhone or smartphone. If you don't even have those, just start at the library and learn something. Go to, anywhere with Wi-Fi and learn. You might not even have a laptop. You might just say, I just have to find a public library, because then you can start saying how to save money, how to make that, whatever you want to learn. And then from there, there's baby steps. You just got to baby step your way to learning YouTube, and then
baby step your way to 500,000 subscribers. Well, Amber, it's been a great discussion on your booming e-commerce video business. Do you have any final points you would like to share?
Don't give up. It's all baby steps. You can do it. I can do it. I was not tech savvy. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And CCK is not going anywhere. We have a lot of fun things coming out next year. More coloring books. We have a manuscript for a children's book. I'm digital illustrating, and we're hoping to grow it into a conglomerate of fun things for kids and creativity. So,
well, Amber Laliberte, thank you for being such a wonderful guest on our podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me, you guys. It's been amazing.
Thanks for connecting in. This has been fascinating and inspiring.
Awesome. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great day.
You too. To learn more about Colorful Creative Kids, visit YouTube/colorfulcreativekids.com or our podcast website for more information on guests.
Thanks for joining us in this episode of the Home Business Podcast. Share your feedback with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our website, homebusinessmag.com.
Visit the website for information on advertising. Subscribe to our newsletter. Please visit our sponsors. For more information, visit homebusinessmag.com or the expo at homebusinessexpo.com.
I'm Richard Captain Henderson saying anchors away.
We'll talk with you soon. Until then,
make it a great home-based biz day.
All right.